Hello, I'm Joe, and I am a friend of the fairies, and I am here in the fairy forest at Dell Botanical Garden, and I'm going to tell you about a special holiday that the fairies like to celebrate. It is called Midsummer. If you've been out to the Fairy Appreciation Day before at the Dell here, you know that the fairies return to our gardens around May the 1st. What they do in that time is they decide where they're going to live. They find a house. If they're going to be a woodland fairy, they probably have to build their own house. They take care of their babies. They seek out herbs and flowers and all kinds of plants that they enjoy. And in about 6 weeks, they've pretty well settled in. At that time, we celebrate the solstice, or the longest day of the year. And right after that period of time is Midsummer, or Midsummer Eve. And this is usually on June the 23rd and the 24th. Because solstice is the longest day of the year, it is a good time for the fairies to have a party. And fairies do the same thing at their party as we humans do. They have picnics, they play games, they may take rides on the back of butterflies and ladybugs during the day, and then they may take rides on the back of fireflies at night. But their favorite activities are singing and dancing and playing music. So I am going to, in a minute, show you a craft, because one of their favorite dances is around a maypole. The other thing I'm going to tell you is that you can help the fairies celebrate by taking them some kind of little gift on Midsummer Eve. They like anything that's shiny. They like little pieces of jewelry. They like little balls. It has to be something small. You don't want to take anything really big. The other thing you can do is you can maybe take them out a little thimble full of milk, or some lemonade, or some honey water, or you can take them a little tiny cookie, or maybe make some fairy cakes with your mom and dad. But I'm going to show you how to make a maypole to put into your fairy garden. I'm going to hide behind the tree for a second. This is one of the maypoles that we could make, and this is a little bit fancy. What you need to do is the size of your maypole needs to be to the scale of whatever fairy garden you're going to put it in. If you just have a fairy bow, maybe on your patio or on your balcony, then you're probably going to make a smaller maypole, and that would be something like this. So there's very simple materials that you need for your maypole. I'm going to duck behind the tree again. You can go out into the yard of the fairy forest. You can get a stick. That would be a good pole for a woodland fairy garden. Or you can use a chopstick, or you can use a dowel, or you can use a corncob skewer. So that's something that you need. For the top of the fairy pole, we are using the bottom of a paper cup. If you're going to leave your fairy pole out for a long time, you might want to use a plastic cup. This is a little condiment cup that I have used, and it is plastic. That would be a good way for you to recycle maybe a drink cup from a restaurant, is to cut the bottom out of it. So you need to leave about an inch or inch and a half, probably an inch and a half of the bottom of the cup if you want to use ribbons or staple your yarn or your ribbons onto your fairy ring up there. Before you start, take your cup. Let me get a cup here. And you can make a slit down the cup to about 1.5 inches, and then you're going to cut around the circle here and then cut down. You can use the top of your cup as materials to make the little disc that you're going to put onto your pole. You're going to set your, if my hand were your paper cup sides, I would draw around that twice, and I would cut that out. And then again, with your disc, you're going to want a hole in the center of both of the discs. One of the discs, you're going to put several holes around, maybe 4 to 6 holes, because that's going to be the top of your maypole where you're going to stick in your flowers. You might need to get a little help from your parents to put a hole in the bottom of your half cup. So I'll show you what this is going to look like. So this would be your half cup that you've cut, and you have a hole in it. The next thing that you're going to do, I got to duck down again. Sorry about that. You're going to take your pole that you're using. There's your pole that you're going to use. And you want to take a rubber band, and about this far down on your pole, you want to wrap a rubber band. That is going to hold your disc. Now what you want to do first is to attach your ribbons, and you can do that by either stapling ribbons around of your yarn or whatever strips of cloth you're using around your pole. Your ribbon or your cloth needs to be the same length as whatever pole that you're using. Okay. So we're going to imagine that we have yarn or ribbon around this, and then you're going to poke the dowel through the top of the cup, or the bottom of the cup, and then I'm going to put another rubber band. We don't have a table out here in the forest, so we have to put stuff. I'm going to put another rubber band around the dowel at the top. And that's essentially going to hold the cup in place. And then I'm going to take the first disc and I'm going to put on that also on the top, and then I'm going to put another rubber band around there. I need a third hand. And that's going to hold the little top onto there if I tighten it better. And then the last disc is the one that is going to hold the flowers in place. And I'm going to insert that on there. And again, I'm going to fasten a rubber band on the top of that to hold it in place. And then you can go out and you can pick you some flowers. The fairies like clover, they like dandelions. Don't pick anybody else's flowers, it doesn't belong to you. But then you can insert them into the top of your disc here, and you will have completed your little maypole. So that is the end, and I hope that all of you celebrate Midsummer with the fairies, and that you enjoy your summer.